Afternoon everybody, we're back here on the Carrick site for update 2 of our Winterfield School 2019. So as always, we're just going to run through some of the major elements of what we've been finding the last week or two. We'll start with cutting 1 again. We may not do it chronologically because we might do it in terms of how easy it is to get around, alright? So an ease of movement around the cutting. So we'll start with Emily because she's the closest to us. So Emily was digging here with Dan. You can probably see, Ellen, if you just pan over a little to my left, you'll see a clear wall coming across. Okay, which is part of either the medieval hall structure, the castle structure, well certainly medieval masonry. We still have to clarify exactly what this wall is of. We've talked about it many times, but the wall runs out, or sort of ends about here. And after that point, the wall becomes what we've frequently referred to as a robber trench. So a trench that was dug to take out the stone and repurpose it somewhere else. And that's what Emily and Dan are assessing. So they've confirmed that there's no more wall, they've confirmed that this cut is just filled with rubble, and they're digging down to the base of that, and then we're going to photograph it and draw it. So they've been at that for the last few days. It was again great to be able to see the robber trench here because all the rest of it was previously dug out by Clare Cotter. So we're getting to see new areas or new deposits for the first time ourselves. So I'm just going to hop in now, trying to stay away from the wall. Okay, so this stringed out area in the centre of cutting 1 has been the main activity area for the last week or so. You'll see at the back of the cutting, you'll see the other wall we talked about in update 1. So again, a structure formed from a north, a south and an east wall, with the west wall still to be determined. But we had that done pretty much by the last update, so we've been concentrating on the interior. And what we had in the interior originally was a large area, sort of starting around here and coming around here, of fire reddened or oxidized clay. So clay that had been exposed to extreme heat, certainly over 700 or 800 degrees. We weren't sure if that had been burned to what we would call in situ, that the burning had happened here, or the red had been transported from somewhere else. It now certainly does seem that the burning happened here. And I guess excitingly for us, as we've dug into it, we realised it's probably the remains of a furnace or a kiln. So we had clear, if you like, red defined in a circle, if you think of a dartboard, red around the perimeter, and then a black charcoal spread on the interior. And that black charcoal was fairly rich now in iron slag, little what we call prills, which are almost like little molten iron teardrops, if you think of teardrops that are from smelting process. And it also had a lot of pottery, a lot of 13th century, 13th century pottery. So we have to clarify exactly what that furnace, that kiln was used for. Was it for iron smelting? Was it for something to do with pottery production? But it's great to get confirmed industrial activity on the site. So a lot of concentration has been going into that. It's nearly finished. We're leaving about half it in. We're here for a research dig. We're not here because the site is at risk, so we don't need to dig everything. We want to leave something for future generations. So most of our effort has been going into taking out half that furnace. And we're literally just starting with Tyler and Hallie. We're just starting to assess some of the deposits on the interior. I should say the most important announcement today is that it's Hallie's 21st birthday. All right, so that's more important than anything else today. 21st birthday in Ireland. So the deposits they're digging, you can see there's a brown one here. And if you like, on current interpretation, we're calling this brown 13th/14th century. And that white underneath, we think is the 12th century habitation layer, okay? So you're seeing the history of the site in microcosm here. You have your 13th, 14th century, your castle, your hall, your chapel, all those historical references to the borough from here up, and you have your 12th century and that nice little slip just there, okay? The reason why we think that's 12th century will probably become clearer as we talk over on cutting 2. So we'll nip over to cutting 2 now and have a look at what's going on over there, because it's been pretty exciting. Okay, so we're just coming into cutting 2 with the new barrow ramp access in, and I guess it looks like a bit of a hot mess at the minute because there's a lot going on. So since we were last here, we've turned up a lot more stake holes, a lot more post holes, hearts in concentrated areas like this one here, which has been half sectioned and excavated, but also little bits of hearts further background here, further over here. So definite burning. Activity going on site, and we also are trying to figure out what's going on with the natural geology, or do we have a large feature over here. But I guess in summary, when we were here last term or last summer, we had a charcoal spread that went over most of Cutting 2, okay? And that was interpreted as burning out of 12th century wooden structures. We got a date on that and it came back roughly what we wanted it to be, 1200 plus or minus 50 or 60. So possibly the first, if you like, Anglo-Norman wooden settlements in the site, maybe even Ireland, who knows, okay? Stratigraphically, so in order of how things happen, beneath that charcoal, so if this charcoal is where my hand is, and the trowel is obviously underneath it, we've got a load of stake holes, post holes and hearts. So they predate, they're before that charcoal. And you can see, they're very small, they're not always easy to see. We have some stake holes here, 1, 2, 3. We had another set of 3 that were just here, 1, 2, 3. So they're small and they're quite discreet to see. We have a post hole here, okay. A very large post hole here that Claire Cotter originally found. And if you look behind yourself, Alan, sorry to get you to spin around. We have another large post hole here, okay, which we've half sectioned. So by half section, I mean we've only taken out half of it, literally like a cake, okay. These two are about 6 meters apart. The hearth that we're looking at that's been excavated is equidistant from both. It's bam smack in the middle. So what it seems to be is that we're starting to get a much better glimpse or indication of the 12th century structures that were I suppose made or existed in this area, all right? Beneath all these features is this highly trampled, compacted grey marl, okay? A grey sort of clay marl. We don't know exactly where it came from. It may have been dug up from the ditch, but you can see a little patch of it over here, which we haven't taken out yet. It's this sort of stuff here, okay? And that is almost identical to the grey I was talking about in Cutting 1, okay? So what we're seeing to get is a sort of continuity of a 12th century surface coming across the site through which all these features are placed. You know, the 12th century posts, which indicate the houses or the structures, the hearts, and then they're burnt down and sealed by the layer of charcoal that was over the site that we took out in the summertime. So we're really getting to exciting stuff here because, as I said loads of times, there's nothing to say that these are the first Norman structures in Ireland, but they're certainly amongst the first. So this is pretty exciting stuff for us archaeologists on site. So that's what we've been at. We only have a few days left. We've nearly taken out most of the 12th century surface in Cutting 2. So really now it's about tidy up and recording. So lots of photographs, lots of planning, and then we're going to hopefully end it all with a big medieval feast and a bit of a party and a bash on Thursday, and maybe some of the students will stay in the park. So we might get another chance to do one more update. If not, I'll hopefully see you in 20 degrees hotter weather in the summer. Thanks folks.